Hello everybody, and thank you for coming to my channel. My name is Lane, and lately I've been asking myself the really deep questions about the world while working my 9 to 5. Like, who created the universe? What's for dinner? And who uses the most Pokemon throughout their in-game appearances? Recently I got to thinking about how many trainers there are throughout all the Pokemon games and how some of them use different teams throughout their in-game appearances, whether that be Hop switching up his Pokemon mid-game through Sword and Shield, or Cheren using different Pokemon through the Indigo Disk and through the Teal Mask. And all this led me to the question of who uses the most Pokemon throughout all of their in-game appearances. So I went ahead and made a comprehensive list of all of the trainers through Red, Blue, Green, all the way through the Indigo Disk since Legends EA hasn't been released yet. And we are going to go ahead and do a top 10-ish for this topic. Now, quick sidebar. I'm going to go ahead and count each Pokemon, even if they're duplicates. So if someone has 3 different Pidgeys on a team, so Pidgey, 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 that's going to be 3 different entries onto their list. Even though it's the same Pokemon, it is 3 different Pokemon. And then in a rematch, if you do rematch them and it's Pidgey, Pidgey, Pidgeotto, that's assumed that the Pidgey evolved into the Pidgeotto. So we're not going to get too technical with it, okay guys? But that's how we're going to start, so let's get started. In 10th place, we actually have the rival of the player characters in black and white, that being Cheren. Next we have Cheren, who, as a rival, will use the fully evolved starter Pokemon strongest to yours, that being Superior, Emboar, or Samurott. Liepard, Unpheasant, the elemental monkey weak to your starter, that being Simisage, Simisear, or Simipour, Gigalith, and Haxorus. As a gym leader and as a World Tournament contestant, he adds 2 Watchog, another Pidove, Stoutland, 2 Cincino, a Zangoose, Lopunny, Castform, Bouffalant, Porygon Z, and a Licky Licky, bringing both of these characters up to 22 Pokemon. In 9th place, we actually have another tie. This, of course, being between the champion, or I guess previous champion, of the Kanto games and gym leader, Blue, and the stat trainer, Buck, from the Sinnoh games. Now this is actually kind of shocking to me because Blue has appeared so many times throughout the entire series, I thought he would have placed higher, but we'll take 9th. Through his Kanto journeys, Blue will use the Kanto starters Venusaur, Charizard, or Blastoise, a Pidgeot, Raticate, Alakazam, Exeggutor, Arcanine, Gyarados, and a Rhyperior. In yellow, he adds a fully evolved evolution, that being Jolteon, Vaporeon, or Flareon, a Sandslash, Ninetales, Magneton, Cloyster, and then the next time he adds a new Pokemon to his roster will be the rematch team in Fire Red and Leaf Green, where he adds both a Heracross and a Tyranitar. In his Heart Gold and Soul Silver appearances, he will only add a Machamp. Then in his Champion Tournament in Black 2 and White 2, he will only add an Aerodactyl. Finally, in the Let's Go games, he will add a Tauros to his team, bringing his total up to 23 different Pokemon used. Moving on to the stat trainer Buck. His trusty partner Pokemon that is introduced to us in the Stark Mountain chapter of the Pokemon games is a Claydol. In his Battleground Battle team in Pokemon Platinum, he adds a Shuckle, Umbreon, Torkoal, and Dusknoir to his team. In his Battle Tower teams, he can choose between adding a Cloyster, Forretress, Steelix, Skarmory, Dusclops, Regirock, Registeel, Regice, Bastiodon, Probopass, Cresselia, Articuno, Suicune, Metagross, Bronzong, Hippowdon, Tangrowth, and Leafeon, bringing his Pokemon up to 23 as well. And this dude's stacked with all of the legendaries that he's got access to. It's kind of mind-boggling, but still 9th. In 8th place, we have our boy from Twin Leaf Town, or maybe Sandgem Town, depending on who you choose to play as. That is Lucas of the Sinnoh games. Of course, he will start off having the starter Pokemon weakest to you, that being Torterra, Infernape, or Empoleon, and adding a Clefairy and Kadabra in the original Sinnoh games. Then after you beat the Hall of Fame in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you are able to battle him where he adds a Mothim, Gallade, evolving the Clefairy into Clefable, Magmortar, Tangrowth, and Milotic. After beating the Hall of Fame 10 times, he adds a Gliscor, Cradilly, Glaceon, Heat Rotom, Tauros, Dusknoir, Flareon, Rampardos, Rotom Wash, Dunsparce, Absol, Kabutops, Espeon, Rotom Mow, and Porygon Z, bringing his total up to 25 Pokemon used. In 7th place, ironically enough, we have the other player character from the Sinnoh games, that of course being Dawn. And she comes in with 26 Pokemon, beating Lucas by 1. She, of course, like Lucas, will start off having the starter Pokemon weakest to yours, that being Torterra, Infernape, or Empoleon, and also adding a Clefairy that evolves into Clefable and Kadabra in the original Sinnoh games. Then after you beat the Hall of Fame in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you're able to battle her again, where she adds the Grass Cloak, Sand Cloak, and Trash Cloak Wormadam, Frostlass, Magmortar, Tangrowth, and Milotic. After beating the Hall of Fame 10 times, she adds a Togekiss, Bellossom, Mamoswine, Typhlosion, Lopunny, Crobat, Arcanine, Mr. Mime, Blastoise, Licky Licky, Honchkrow, Gorebyss, Sceptile, and Ambipom, bringing her total to 26 Pokemon. We stay in the Sinnoh region for our 6th place contestant, our 6th place finisher, I guess. That, of course, being the Aura Guardian, Riley, and the who, of course, is also a stat trainer in the Sinnoh region, being the stat trainer for the attack stat. Now, Riley comes in at 27 Pokemon, starting with his partner Pokemon, you all know and love, Lucario, who we go through the Iron Island chapter, saga, whatever, of the Sinnoh games with. In his Battleground battle in Pokemon Platinum, he adds an Absol, Ursaring, Metagross, and Salamence to his roster. Then in the Battle Tower, he can choose between a Poliwrath, Machamp, Rhydon, Gyarados, Dragonite, Tyranitar, Breloom, Blaziken, Slacking, Hariyama, Metachan, Infernape, Rampardos, Garchomp, Toxicrow, Rhyperior, Mamoswine, Gallade, Regigigas, Pinsir, and Entei, bringing him up to the magical number 27. And like I said before, these stat trainers are stacked with the Pokemon that they can use here. Now for 5th place, we're going to take a step back into the Unova region, where we have a tie, again, this time between Hilda and Hilbert, the protagonists from the initial Unova games, that being Black and White. Now, they actually use the exact same Pokemon, so this is going to be a way easier entry, but just keep in mind they both use the same Pokemon, so that's why I'm only going to go through and list them once. In this battle subway, they can switch between Beartic, Archeops, Sock, Escavalier, Acelgor, Excadrill, Braviary, Mienshao, Vanillux, Haxorus, Darmanitan, Golurk, Cryogonal, Reuniclus, Bisharp, Conkeldurr, Crocodile, Chandelure, Buffalant, Electros, Druddigon, Audino, Amoonguss, Alola-Mola, Jellicent, Throw, Cofagirus, Ferrothorn, Mandibuzz, Kling, Lilligant, Durant, Gigalith, Gothitelle, Musharna, and finally Scrafty, bringing all of their Pokemon up to 37. And they are not the last player character that we're going to see on this list, so stay tuned. In 4th place, we have the final stat trainer of this list, that of course being Cheryl, who is the trainer that accompanies you through Eterna Forest in the Pokemon Sinnoh games. And of course, she always has her trusty Pokemon, Chansey, who evolves into a Blissey. Her Battleground team in Pokemon Platinum adds a Wobbuffet, Drifloon, Hariyama, and Wailord. In her Battle Tower team, she adds Snorlax, Espeon, Umbreon, Porygon 2, Armaldo, Milotic, Latios, Gastrodon, Porygon Z, Cresselia, Venusaur, Alakazam, Victreebel, Executor, Starmie, Meganium, Miltank, Sceptile, Ludicolo, Shiftry, Breloom, Slacking, Metachan, Cradilly, Walrein, Regirock, Regice, Torterra, Roserade, Vespiquen, Hippowdon, Abomasnow, Tangrowth, and Dusknoir. That brings her total up to 40 Pokemon, and once again, these scout trainers are packing heat when they come into the battle tower. They are prepared for anything. Like, geez, this girl had like 5 legendaries, Buck had like 6 or 7. Where do they get the time? Next up on the list, we have our bronze medal winner, that of course being In, the leader of Team Plasma. Now, where In really shines is the fact that each time you battle him, through all of his appearances, he uses a different team completely. Each and every time. I think he only uses one Pokemon more than once, and that's going to be because it helps out later. Even in the sequel games, Black 2 and White 2, he uses a completely different team for each season. Like, he's got seasonal teams built around weather. And of course, he comes in at 41 Pokemon, beating Cheryl by 1. His Pokemon from Black and White include Purloin, Pidove, Timber, Timple, Sandile, Scraggy, Darumaka, Sigilith, Boldore, Ferroseed, Joltik, Zekrom, Reshiram, Caracosta, Vanillix, Archeops, Zoroark, and Klang. Then on his seasonal battle teams, for his spring team consists of Politoed, Lantern, Tentacruel, Amistar, Kabutops, and Starmie. His summer team consists of Ninetales, Arcanine, Rapidash, Shiftry, Nindrask, and Leafeon. His fall team consists of Hippowdon, Gastrodon, Cradily, Armaldo, Scizor, and Rhyperior. And finally, his winter team adds in Abomasnow, Cloyster, Mamosline, Frostlass, and finally, Glaceon. Now, it's really, he has an amazing set of Pokemon, amazing set of teams. I don't know if technically this should count though, because he does release a lot of them. That's kind of like a big point of the Gen 2 games, because you can recapture all of his Pokemon. But for now, I'm gonna count them all. It's my video, guys. If you got problems with it, let me know. I want to hear about it in the comments, okay? Rounding out second place, we actually have our final tie of the video, that of course being Nate and Rosa, the player characters from Black 2 and White 2. Now, they actually use the exact same Pokemon as Hilda and Hilbert, but they add 6 Pokemon. So they bring their total up to 43, beating In by 2. Now, in case you forgot, here's the list of Pokemon that Hilda and Hilbert use. Beartic, Archeops, Sock, Escavalier, Iselgor, Excadrill, Braviary, Mienshao, Vanillix, Haxorus, Darmanitan, Golurk, Cryogonal, Reuniclus, Bisharp, Conkeldurr, Crocodile, Chandelure, Bouffalant, Electros, Druddigan, Audino, Amoonguss, Alola-Mola, Jellicent, Throw, Cofagirus, Ferrothorn, Mandibuzz, Klinklang, Lilligant, Durant, Gigalith, Gothitelle, Musharna, and Scrafty. But they add the 6 new Pokemon, that of course being the middle stage starter, so Servine, Pignite, or Dewott, and the first stage of the Elemental Monkeys, that of course being Pansage, Pansear, and Pampor, bringing the total up to 43 and introducing the player character that uses the most Pokemon. Now, for our number 1 spot, I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm going to say all of the Pokemon, and it's a lot, and I want you to guess who it is. Let me know down in the comments who you think it is and if you get it right. So, let's get started, because there's a lot of Pokemon. We have Alakazam, Tangrowth, Probopass, Machamp, Magnezone, Gliscor, Onix, Steelix, Golbat, Crobat, Starly, Staravia, Togetic, Togekiss, Psyduck, Golduck, Vulpix, Ninetales, Hisuian Growlithe, Hisuian Arcanine, Mr. Mime, Blissey, Kleavor, Stantler, Basculegion, Krogunk, Toxicroak, Drifbloom, Drifblim, Weasel, Floatzel, Hisuian Lilligant, Ponyta, Rapidash, Crustle, Klinklang, Bergmite, Hisuian Avalugg, Garbodor, Excadrill, Haxorus, Chandelure, Girder, Lickitung, Dusclops, Dusknoir, Chansey, Haunter, Tangela, Graveler, Yanma, Studtank, Magmar, Hisuian Duat, Electabuzz, Rotom Wash, Hisuian Zoroark, Jolteon, Leafeon, Vaporeon, Porygon, Oshawott, Duat, Hisuian Samurott, Staraptor, Zubat, Magnemite, Magneton, Monferno, Umbreon, Espeon, Murkrow, unknown L specifically, Sneasel, Snorlax, Hisuian Quillfish, Infernape, Scizor, Gligar, Munchlax, Machop, Machoke, 2 Cheriums, Raichu, Porygon 2, Drapion, Magby, Elekid, Honchkrow, Bronzor, Bronzong, Gallade, Nosepass, Snover, Abomasnow, Ghastly, Chimecho, Snorunt, Frostlass, Shinx, Luxio, Luxray, Chimchar, Infernape, Piplup, Primplup, Empoleon, Turtwig, Grottle, Torterra, Eevee, Gyarados, Chatot, Rhyhorn, Rhydon, Rhyperior, Shieldon, Craniados, Sudowoodo, Ursaluna, Remoraid, Octillery, Piloswine, Mamoswine, Bidoof, Bibarel, Dusknoir, Apom, Ambipom, Chingling, Barboach, Wishcast, Sylveon, Togepi, Clefable, Mantine, Heracross, Bastiodon, Hisuian Basculin, Parasect, Hisuian Voltorb, Pikachu, Sneasler, Golem, Licky Licky, Yanmega, Magmortar, Electivire, Glaceon, Flareon, Porygon Z, Gardevoir, Gengar, Glalie, Garchomp, Hisuian Goodra, Overqwil, Gastrodon, Rowlet, Dartrix, Hisuian Decidueye, Rufflet, Hisuian Braviary, Rotom Frost, Rotom Mow, Gible, Riolu, Lucario, Cyndaquil, Quilava, Hisuian Typhlosion, and finally Rotom Heat. So did you guess who it was? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. It's Ingo. Now, where Ingo shines is that technically speaking, he does own all of these Pokemon. It's all through the Path of Solitude, which is part of the post-game DLC stuff for Legends Arceus, and then, of course, you can technically rebattle any of those paths at any time. So even if he evolves Pokemon, you go back and you can still battle that same Pokemon. So he owns one of each of these Pokemon. But thank you guys so much for coming and listening to me talk about Pokemon for however long this video is. And yeah, with that, I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you later. Bye!